Okay, dear students, as I've told you, we'll be starting our second module today. In this second module, the first topic in the second module is agreements opposed to public policy. There are few agreements which are opposed to public policy. If you do those agreements, then you are your contract or agreement will not be enforceable in the court of law, or it is not accepted in the court of law, because these agreements are opposed to public policy. They are against the public, right? If any agreement is there, if they are against the public and welfare of the society or people, such agreements will not be accepted in the court of law. So we'll study which are those agreements one by one. An agreement which is opposed to public policy cannot be enforceable by either of the parties to it. Public policy is the policy of the law. The question as to whether an agreement is opposed to public policy or not is to be decided on general principles only, and not by considering the terms of any particular contract. If you want to call any contract or agreement as opposed to public policy, then such question can be solved with the help of some general principles only. It cannot be solved by the terms contained in the contract or agreement. So, to know which kind of things are opposed to public policy or which kind of things are not in the favor of public, those things we have to study in detail. Let us go in detail. The first type of the policy which is against the public is trading with enemies. If you trade with enemies in is against the public policy, thus it is unlawful and void. However, if a contract is made during peacetime and later on war break out, one of the two things may result. Either the contract is suspended or it stands dissolved depending on the intention of the parties to the contract. Trading with enemies in the sense, when Indian citizen will make a contract with the person outside India, a foreigner, then immediately after doing a contract, war will start between our country and the country with whom you have done a contract. The citizen of those countries during war are called as enemies. Now, in those countries, people, if you have done a contract, it is not valid. If you have done a contract, it will get suspended. And during war, you cannot do a contract. Suppose India and China, right? In future, if war has started, or if war starts, in that case, the citizen of China, those people will become enemies for us, or those people will become alien enemy, what we call, and we cannot do a trading with them. If you do trading with them, it is the first type of an agreement which is opposed to public policy. You are going against the country, against the government, against the public, right? So such agreements are opposed to public policy. Second type of agreement which is opposed to public policy is traffic in public offices. An agreement
Hello, sir.
and to second, as we are discussing, is traffic in public offices. So traffic in public offices are agreements entered into for using corrupt influence in procuring government jobs, titles and honors are unlawful and therefore are not enforceable. This is because if such agreements are valid, corruption will increase and lead to inefficiency in public services. So traffic in public offices means where somebody has given any money for the sake of getting a job, corruption he has given, or a bribe he has given to complete his work, to get some title, to get some honor, to get some job, promotion, or some other things. So those all things which a person has done, those all are opposed to public policy, and those are not enforceable in the court of law. Let us take an example. A paid A paid B, a public servant, a certain sum of money, including him to retire from service. Thus, paying the way for A to be appointed in his place. Thus, the agreement was held to be void. What A has told to B that you retire from the job, I will pay you money, and in your place I will join. So here, when somebody is giving any bribe, money, corruption are involved, those are directly opposed to public policy, and such agreements are called as traffic in public offices, and those are totally disqualified, or totally not enforceable in the court of law. The third type of agreement which are opposed to public policy is stifling prosecution. An agreement in which one party agrees to drop the criminal proceedings pending in a court in consideration of some amount of money is unlawful. Therefore, such an agreement cannot be enforced except where crime is compoundable, right? Where stifling prosecution means when in the court some case is going on, money will be given or bribe will be given to some judge, some government uh, lawyer, so that decision has to be given in your favor. If such things are done or such things have been made, in that case such agreements are also done opposed to public policy. Why? Because these are done against the public, where you are giving money to get the decision in your favor, right? If you take an example here, A had committed a robbery, and so B had instituted prosecution against A. Means B has filed a complaint against A. The prosecution cannot be dropped against A in consideration of his restoring the stolen property, right? So even if A is giving all stolen property, suppose gold he has taken or money he has taken, even if all things are given to B, the case cannot be withdrawn. If it is withdrawn, it has to be withdrawn through court only. So the settlement or withdrawing of the case should not be done by some outsiding sources or by some government agencies, government people. No. If such thing is done, those are called as stifling prosecution, which is against the public policy. To doing all this judgment, court is there. If you are unable to solve your cases, right, you can go to district court. Even if you are unable to solve there, go to the High Court, Supreme Court. So various decisions you can take by going to these different places, right? The fourth important type which will go against the public policy is maintenance and champerty. Maintenance and champerty agreements are against the public policy because they are wide. And the maintenance and champerty are those agreements where a person promised to maintain a suit in which he has no interest at all. Right? Champerty agreement is one whereby a person agrees to share the results of litigation. Where some case is going on between some family matters, between brothers, where they are fighting. In between, some third party will come and they will file a complaint towards that some particular person. So here, when they are doing some maintenance and when they want to share that litigation property, illegal property, which is not supported by legal documents, so such agreements are also opposed to public policy. The difference between maintenance and champerty agreement lies in their object, right? Due to object, you can classify or you can differentiate the maintenance and champerty. The object of maintenance agreement is to encourage or foment litigation, right? You want to make litigation, or a person wants to go for a litigation kind of agreements. So if you are going towards litigation agreements, such kind of thing are not supported by law, and those becomes wide agreements due to maintenance. Now, whereas the champerty agreement is sharing of the proceedings of the litigation. When you share the consideration or when you share the part of your money what you got in the litigation, that particular sharing amount what you got, that it becomes champerty. And both maintenance and champerty are not enforceable in the court of law, right? Fifth is agreement creating interest against duty. If somebody has done any agreement which will create interest against the duty, So those agreements or those contracts, those agreements will be totally not enforceable in the court of law. If an agreement is entered into by a person where he is bound to do something which is against the public duty, the agreement is void on the ground of public policy. On the ground of public policy, the agreement becomes void. Like, take for an example, an agreement by an agent to get secret profit shall be void as it is opposed to public policy. Similarly, an agreement by a government servant for the purchase of land situated within his circle is illegal as opposed to public policy. Right? An agent will make a secret profit. Right? He will buy the goods from his principal, or he will buy the goods from his boss. He will sell it by taking some secret profit, which is in fact doing a job against the interest, or he is polluting his duty. Similarly, a government servant knows that in area so many land is there, in the city so much of land is there which is vacant, and which is, you can call, no man's land. Nobody has the ownership of that land. In that case, if he makes the title of the property on his name, or if he sells that property to somebody else by taking money, in that case he is also creating interest against duty, which is opposed to public policy. Similarly, marriage brokerage or brokerage agreements. So this is an agreement in which one or other party or third party receives certain money in consideration of marriage. Such agreements, being opposed to public policy, are void. Right? If anybody is doing any marriage brokerage kind of thing, and if they are getting any consideration from both the parties, right, from the bride side and from the groom side, they will get some money, while this is not permitted. A Purohit was promised rupees 50, right? He was a marriage broker. He promised that he will get rupees 50 in consideration of procuring a second wife for B. Subsequently, A filed a case against B to recover the said amount. It was held that such a promise amount to marriage brokerage contract which are illegal, and that the agreement has enforceable, hence the suit was dismissed. Right? See, the marriage brokerage agreements, the marriage brokerage agents, they are doing so much of marriages. If somebody doesn't pay money, and if they go to court and file a complaint against such parties, like against the bride or a groom's family members, they won't get anything in return. The reason is, as it is clearly said in Indian Contract Act, marriage brokerage agreements are totally void because they are opposed to public policy. Similarly, agreements tending to create monopolies, right? Agreements tending to create monopolies are against public policy and hence are void. However, in matter like vegetables, monopoly rights can be given to one person excluding others, right? Now here, monopoly in case of goods is not allowed, but in vegetables they can go for some APMC market, or they can go for some vendors and sell the goods, sell the vegetables. But apart from that, the monopolies will not be given to any goods, right? Monopoly will not be given to any goods. Similarly, agreement to commit a crime. Somebody has done agreement, they want to commit a crime. If an agreement, the consideration is committing a crime, the agreement is opposed to public policy first of all, and is void. Similarly, an agreement to indemnify a person against consequences of his criminal act is unenforceable, being opposed to public policy. Right? So you want to pay the losses after doing some crime. So these type of contracts or agreements, in fact, are not valid. They are void. A promises to indemnify a firm engaged in printing and publishing in paper against the consequences of any libel that might publish in its paper. Here, A's promise could not be enforced, where the firm was forced to pay damages for libel published. Right? Here, if you want to do any damages or a crime to others, right, Maybe it is fraud you have done, maybe it is misrepresentation you are doing, or maybe you want to harm someone or crime you want to commit. For that crime, if you are doing any agreement to do that crime, if you are doing any agreement, those are totally void. Those are not enforceable in the court of law because those agreements are opposed to public policy. Similarly, agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, right? There are certain legal proceedings to which agreement has to be made. Two kinds of agreements are dealt with under this head. They are agreement restraint enforcement of rights, and then agreements curtailing period of limitation. Agreement restricting enforcement of rights, these are those agreements in which it prohibits wholly or the partly and party to agreement to enforce his rights in respect of any contract is void. So here they are restricting a person to do agreement, or they are restricting him for doing the legal procedures, right? So these are restricting enforceability of rights. Similarly, agreements curtailing period of limitation. So if an agreement curtails the period of limitation which is prescribed by the law of limitation is void. This is because its object is to defeat the provision of law. The provision of law is that everybody can have the right to go towards the law of limitation. But here you are restricting, or you are curtailing the period of limitation. You are restricting, right? In that case, it becomes a void contract.